The wind howled over the frozen plains that night, whipping through the cracks of the old ranch house. Inside, lantern light flickered against rough wooden walls as Thomas Hale, a broad-shouldered rancher with sorrow carved deep in his face, cradled his newborn daughter. His wife Mary had passed just 2 nights earlier, her final breath fading with the cry of the baby she'd fought so hard to bring into the world. Now the rancher's calloused hands trembled as he tried to calm the tiny bundle, whose cries grew weaker from hunger. The pantry shelves were empty, the barn cold, and no mother left to feed the child. Snow piled high outside, and the nearest town was miles away, too far for a man with a newborn in his arms. Thomas whispered to the heavens, "Lord, I've buried my wife. Please don't let me bury my child too." The night grew darker, the storm crueler. He wrapped the baby tighter in his coat, praying for morning. Every few minutes he walked to the window, staring into the white abyss. He thought of Mary's laugh, her gentleness, her faith. His heart broke knowing he couldn't give their daughter what she needed most. Just when he sank to his knees beside the fire, exhausted and ready to give up hope, a faint knock echoed through the wind, once, then twice. Thomas froze. Nobody came out in weather like this. He opened the door to find a young woman, Emma, the neighbor's daughter, her cheeks red from cold, her shawl soaked with snow. "I heard the baby crying from my place," she said, her voice trembling. "I came as fast as I could." Behind her, the blizzard roared, but in her eyes burned something strong and steady, compassion. Thomas couldn't speak. He just stepped aside and let her in. The warmth of her presence filled the cabin like a small miracle. Emma knelt beside the fire, her hands shaking as she reached toward the baby. She had helped raise her younger siblings before they passed from fever years ago, and seeing that fragile infant stirred memories she thought long buried. Thomas stood nearby, eyes red, unsure what to do. "She hasn't eaten in nearly a day," he said hoarsely. Emma nodded, then looked up at him with quiet determination. "I can help," she said softly. "I brought milk from our goat." From her satchel, she pulled a small flask wrapped in cloth still warm from the hearth. Thomas watched in disbelief as she carefully fed the baby, drop by drop, whispering gentle words. The cries softened, replaced by the faint sound of life returning. For the first time in days, Thomas exhaled. He saw not just a neighbor but a beacon in the storm, someone sent by grace. As the night passed, the fire crackled, and Emma hummed a tune that filled the little cabin with peace. Thomas sat across from her, his rough hands covering his face, whispering thanks under his breath. When morning came, the snow had stopped. The light poured through the window, golden and pure. Emma prepared to leave, but the baby stirred and reached toward her as if sensing the kindness that had saved her life. "You don't have to go," Thomas said quietly. "Stay, just until she's strong." Emma smiled shyly, lowering her eyes. "I'll come by every day," she promised. From that day forward, the ranch was never as lonely again. The cries of despair had turned into laughter, and the heart that had been broken began to heal. And to everyone watching this story unfold, remember, even the coldest night can be broken by a single act of kindness. Don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming Western tales of love, faith, and redemption, because you never know when your knock on someone's door could change a life forever.